Hey YouTube, it's your girl Duchess back for another review, and this time it is Tyler Perry's Ruthless on BET Plus, Season 5, Episode 5, The Message. Ruth is quickly running out of options. Dikhan, now known as Brother Anthony Wright, has been stripped of all his power, and he takes his punishment like a man. River, he is on one, y'all. Let's get into this episode. So River is wasting absolutely no time in his role as Dikhan. He got on that black robe and he is trying his best to convince the highest that he is not a traitor, but there is a traitor amongst them, maybe even a couple rats, and he's just the person to get to the bottom of it. We need to have a trial and have everybody prove their loyalty right out here in the pavilion. The highest likes that idea. He summons Obadiah. The highest wants to know from Obadiah, are the children ready for battle? Are they ready to demise for the Raku? Obadiah is like, yes, I have trained them. They are ready to go. The highest threatens him with a sword. He's indirectly threatening him, but he has it like up to his body. And his position is the children, it's one thing for them to be training with objects and be ready to go. It's a whole nother animal to be ready to take someone's life. So keep training them. In the meantime, I want you to utilize them to help flesh out this rat. That'll be good training for them as well. Obadiah tries to reason with him. He's busy with the children. He doesn't have a lot of time, but the highest doesn't care. He wants what he wants, and you're the person to get that done. So Ruth and River meet each other out on the compound, and they're having this conversation about, can they still trust each other? Are we on the same page? We've been through so much together. You can tell the conversation is calculated, like they're supposed to trust each other, and they're having this conversation to reassure the other one that they do, but you can tell that the trust is broken. Ruth presses him about his plan, like she's concerned that he's been able to pull this off with the highest and get Dikhan dethroned. Rivers reassures her that they're on the same page. We have each other's back. They depart, but Rivers has this look on his face like, yeah, she probably shouldn't trust him. So Brother Peter is groveling at Rivers. You know, he's that guard that wished Rivers harm, and he told Rivers to his face that he couldn't stand him and basically wanted him to demise. He guarded kind of the highest front entrance, and now that the tables have turned, he wants River to understand that, listen, we just kind of all in this thing together. And he tries to play on River's sympathy card. Apparently they had some relations going on. Here I go, y'all, messing up name. Dikhan River, or River Dikhan, he doesn't seem to be moved at all. In fact, he tells him to ring the bell. Everyone is about to prove their loyalty to the highest. We are preparing for a trial. Meanwhile, at the infirmary, Sister Joan is awake and Sister Alex is with her. She's praying over her. Just outside the compound, the news lady and her assistant hear these bells going off, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They can't really see much, and she's determined to get into that pavilion. She wants her Pulitzer Prize, and she won't stop at anything to get her way in there. Her producer is like, I don't know how we're going to do that because it's a no-fly zone. The FBI has already deemed it that. So I'm not trying to get arrested for you. But she's got a backup plan, and you need to come with me. Back at the pavilion, Brother Anthony Wright is on Front Street. Anthony Wright is formerly known as Dikhan. Since he has been demoted, he is being called by his government name. So the highest has just finished his speech about being prepared for battle, and everybody has to prove their loyalty to the Raku. It's time to get it started, so everyone is on trial today. In comes Rivers. They have stripped Dikhan of all his clothes just as he came out the womb in front of everyone. And Rivers is building his case like, weren't you the head of security? You're the top dog. Don't everybody come through you, right? Dikhan is like, yes. So you trained these two that kidnapped the highest, And he's like, yes. And they report it to you. They don't move without you. So you betrayed him. We also know that you've been talking to the FBI. Rivers is bodying this character switch up, y'all. Like, he is giving it all the passion, all the energy. I'm loving it. It's also kind of hard to see Dikhan in this position, although he deserves it, because he's made it his mission to make sure this dude gets tortured. I can't say that it's hard to watch, or I can even be happy to see Rivers get his vengeance, but Dikhan had it coming. I'm just shocked that it's going down this way. I never expected that, for him to even lose his power. Ciao. Let's keep going. River is yelling for Dikhan to confess, and Dikhan simply stares and says, I confess. Meanwhile, back at the sheriff's office, the FBI is pressuring Andrew to fill in the gaps. They want his help. Andrew is like, I can't tell you nothing. The highest is crazy. And these people there in that cult, they're crazy. And this man has so much reach and power. He can take anybody's life that he wants to. And the FBI agent is like, well, I can do that too. Bring in his son. They bring in this little boy, y'all. He's so cute. He can be but like 7, 8, maybe 9 if I'm generous. These big, beautiful curls. And Andrew is in this chair, handcuffed. And he's like, Daddy, are you a bad person? He's like, no, I'm not a bad person, son. I'm actually trying to help. And the agent backs him up. It's like, no, he's trying to help. We were just getting to that. The other one takes him out for ice cream. Andrew is not happy about that. And so the agent is like, so what's this gonna be? He tells her to go F herself. Back at the camp, Dikhan confesses that he was hoodwinked. I will give my life for the Raku. I will give my life any day for the highest. And he kneels before him, ready to accept his punishment. River gets louder. He has them to bring the pleasure chest. Now, in this chest is tools to torture the human body. It's different things that are Raku approved to bring about punishment and flush out sin. They blindfold Dikhan, and he makes him choose his own basically choose his poison. Whatever he comes up with out of this pleasure chest, that is what will be used to give him his punishment. It's a nightstick. The compound people will take bats and brooms and whatever kind of rod-like instrument they can use and beat on Dikhan to beat the sin out of him and cleanse it of his soul. Dikhan is like, let's get it. Whatever I have to do to absolve me of my sins, I'm ready. They start beating and they are wearing him out. River start yelling, y'all not doing it hard enough. It's not enough. I'll do it. And he grabs a tire iron and he starts wailing on Dikhan with all his might. Like, he is going in. And I'm watching this like, how he's going to stop this? And finally he steps in. He says that brother, whatever his new name is, because he's not Dikhan anymore, has been cleared and has proved his loyalty. And everyone must prove their loyalty today. Everyone is on trial today. So let's get to the next one. Brother Peter. Brother Peter is about to cry. And Dikhan, he about to cry too, the way he over there nursing them wounds. They wore him out. Y'all know when Dikhan get a hold of, if he get a hold of River, child, River better hope he stay in this position. That's all I'm saying. So Brother Peter is called to the front. River go in on him. Didn't you try to escape? I know you tried to escape. He's begging and pleading, reminding the highest how he fought for him, how he put his life on the line for him. It don't matter. Get in that chest. He pulls a water cup thing. So his is going to be kind of proving himself through the drowning, how they try to drown you or whatever. And River start going in, dipping his head down in the water. Back at the sheriff's office, Andrew is standing 10 toes down on this go F yourself campaign until she reminds him that he did off a federal agent. He knows the sentence for that. Like, he'll be looking at his son through a plexiglass for the rest of his life. And that convinces him. Tell me what you want to know. I want a deal though. And she says that she's going to go to bat for him to get him a deal, but she want to know everything. Where the weapons are, how many is it, entry points, any back doorways, the org chart. Like, she wants every single detail she wanted, because we got to bring this joker down. And joker is not the term that she used. I'm just trying to be, YouTube sensitive. Let's keep going. Rivers is drowning this guard, letting the holy water wash his sins. The highest turns to Ruth and's like, you see this? And she says, yes. He steps in. You're making a mockery of this trial. I don't appreciate that. He holds the man down until he almost demise, and then pulls him up and throws him on the floor and says, this man is faithful. You were taking it easy on him. You know these people. I knew I would be betrayed, but I didn't think it would be the Judas that's standing before me. Rivers is like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't mean to offend you, Hayes. I didn't mean to offend you. He orders him to his knees. But Rivers says, I will prove it. I will prove my loyalty. He calls Sister Joan. Back at the infirmary, Sister Joan wakes up. Well, she was already kind of awake, but she starts talking. She's saying the trial. And Sister Alex is like, you don't have to worry about that. Yes, it's going on. But River is your closest and dearest friend here. Like, he would never do that to you. And even if he wanted to, he couldn't do that to you. And she's like, what do you mean? I told him everything. I told him that I knew everything. And I threatened him, so I have the upper hand on him. And he knows he has to help me save my daughter from the headmaster. Sister Joan is like, you such a fool. Why would you do that? I didn't betray you. She is flabbergasted. And before she can even say her next word, the guard is there to get her. Sister Ruth, let's go. Y'all, he scoops her up like a little rag doll, carries her over to the pavilion. Her body is limp, like she doesn't even look like she's alive. She is, because we just heard her talking. He lays her down on the table, and Ruth checks out. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and she takes off running. Finds her way over there to the kids. They are looking for the rat, and she calls Callie. Callie's like, my name is not Callie, my name is Ruby, and you're not my mama. I'm not leaving with you. But Ruth is like, we got to get out of here. I got some money. We got to go. Like, she is ready to go. And Callie's like, this is paradise. Why would I want to leave paradise? And you're not my mother. My name is Ruby. She's urging her to leave with her. She turns to the kids and she tells them, I'm going to take Ruby with me. You're right. Your name is Ruby. I'm going to take Ruby with me. Just as she's doing that, the headmaster walks up. Ruth, what are you doing? Ruth is like, you could tell she's trying to think fast. The kids, he said, yeah, I heard the kids. But what are you doing? I'm taking the kids to the pavilion. I'm taking Ruby, but I'm taking all the kids to the pavilion. They need to witness the miracles and the forgiveness of the Raku. They need to witness his power. He looking at her like, I know you lying. The reporter is outside the compound trying to convince her camera guy to use a drone to get over in there and see, because they are in this no-fly zone, but we can use this drone. Nobody ever see it. They won't even notice it. It can get some good pictures in a few minutes. And he's like, I'm not trying to go to jail. What are you talking about? She reminds him of a time that she had his back and he owes her one, so he's kind of in there. They're keying up this drone. And they can see, and they're like, what is that? What is going on? Like, are they under a pavilion? Is that a lady on the table? Like, they can see what's happening. Sister Alex is begging the highest to stop it, because River is going in on Joan, accusing her of running away, accusing her of hoarding money. And he's basically building his case, and she's got to be punished too. Like, he is really going in, and you're too weak, so I'm going to have to choose your pleasure for you. He reaches in the box and he pulls out a taser. Alex is begging. She's not well enough. She may not survive this. The highest says she's got to prove herself strong enough to fight in a battle. Everybody has to prove themselves. Today is trial day. River shocks her with the thing. She's shaking and convulsing, and he's like, are you ready to confess your sins? Are you ready to confess your sins? She says no or whispers something, and he goes in at her again. She's convulsing. River is urging this lady to confess. She is taking all these shots. He leans into her and he says, did she say something? Are you trying to confess? He whispers to her, tell me the passcode. She says, F you. He shocks her again. The highest turns around looking for Ruth. He is pleased. He's like, Ruth, do you see this? She's gone. He notices Ruth is not there. Now he's puzzled. Sister Alex is begging for Sister Joan again, and the highest says, I'm getting sick of her mouth, basically. She speaks again, cut out her tongue. Brother Obadiah and Ruth show up with the children. The highest is looking like, what's going on? Brother Obadiah says, we found the rat. And I'm thinking he's talking about Ruth, and he's about to give her up. And they pan to the children. One of the children have a big old rat, like, in their hand. Disgusting. Ruth comes to the highest and says, I brought the children to the pavilion so that they can see the raku work or something like that. And he buys it. He's glad the children are there. You say that they're ready for battle, right? So let's see. Sister Alex is yelling no. She is distressed now that the kids have shown up. And the highest is like, Sister Joan has proven herself a warrior. Should she recover from this, she is ready for battle. Brother Highest has proven himself and cleansed himself of his sins. Brother Peter has shown that his loyalty can stand the test. Next up, Sister Alex, and the children are going to be the one to do it. Of course, she is protesting, doesn't understand why he's singling her out. She hasn't done anything. She's been nothing but loyal. River reaches into the pleasure chest and pulls out a pow-pow and basically a weapon that fires off and throws it down on the table. They usher her daughter to the front. And she is begging and pleading no. She's pleading to her daughter, asking her not to do it. Her daughter is reaching out for the gun. And just as she's about to grab the gun, the headmaster grabs it and says, I apologize, Your Highest. You were right. The children are not ready. And he points the weapon straight at Alex's face. And that is Ruthless, Season 5, Episode 5. The message. What y'all think the message is? Child, I think the message is don't join these people. And the other message is you cannot depend on man. You just cannot trust the heart of man. Not with your life, not with your livelihood, not in this manner. That's what I think the message is. Has River messed up? Because River had a master plan. So was his master plan to pull this whole trial thing together and bring in Joan and force her to give him that code so he can ride off in the sunset? Because you know he don't like the highest like that. Like, he's sick of that man and what he's doing to him. But he's got to survive. So, and is Dikhan going to stay in this position? He did say he washed him of his sins. Is River and Dikhan going to have to work together? How long is he going to be a part of the normal working crew? I will say I would like to see Dikhan emerge as somebody different, especially since they're calling his government name, because that kind of deprograms a little bit. And also the beating that he took, and the highest didn't like step in until it was really bad. Like, he has to feel some kind of way about that, and I like to see him turn. Ruth is ready to get out of there. She was ready to get out of there tonight. She see how crazy it is. And now that what's his name is in power, she trying to leave. And I thought the headmaster was going to give her up, but he did not give her up. He actually covered for her. And he's sick of the highest too. So how is this all going to go down? The FBI is getting their download. The reporter can see what's going on with her drone. If they can make that clear, we're about to see what's all of this on the news. Because she said major news stations. Anyway, you guys, this is Ruthless. And I'm your girl, Duchess. I appreciate you watching so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm out.